at the game, obviously. So what we always do, we watch the game live when we get a chance, and then watch the game on Apple TV. Just see some things that you want to review. But wow, Apple TV, you are off to. I think Apple TV is off to a worse start than Toronto FC. Honestly, you can't be any more horrible with your commentators. You're biased. You have no idea what you're talking about. The teleprompter, when they put up names and formations, I think finally you actually got all the players' names right. We're on game 6, and you finally figured out that Herdman's no longer the coach. Okay? And, so, anyway, and Prince Owusu, he's no longer with the team anymore. He doesn't play for us. Okay? So, good on you, Apple TV. I still think you're shit, and I miss TSN. I miss Christian Jack, and I miss all the TSN pundits that we, at least they know the team. They understand the culture here. But TFC, it is Apple TV. It is painful watching you. Honestly, it's painful. Mm-hmm. So,
and yeah, on the culture front, you wanted to go over the game atmosphere. How it was like?
Well, like I said, we were at the game. Now, opening game, the home opener. I get it. There's fair weather fans out there, and across the east and west side, they were sporadically filled, and I'm not sure if they did an announcement of what the attendance was, but it seemed to be about 20,000 fans. It wasn't full, but I gotta admit, the supporters section, good on you. You filled it. The entire supporters section was full, and that's what we should be expecting from a home opener. The march to the stadium was brilliant, and thank you to the supporters for doing that. But last game, so this past Saturday, against Vancouver, where was everyone? Where the hell were you? Now I get it. As fans, we're upset, and we're not going to support a team that's going to continuously lose. But supporters, they already have your money. They already have your season seat price, your season seats. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what message we're trying to send by not having those. And the supporters, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of you have not been there, right? And we need you. The team needs you. The rest of us need you. But I don't know. For the second home game of the season, and I understand the weather wasn't the nicest, but wow, was it empty and quiet. And the whole stadium was quiet.
Yeah, you can kind of expect like the odd fan, like just your average Joe from Toronto or the GTA, coming to watch a TFC game with your friends. You might not want to do it. Prices are high, the team's not performing. Back in the day, it was a great thing. The team was winning, but you can't really expect that same level that we used to expect out of this team. So I get those types of fans, but yeah, a lot of the supporters were missing on the weekend.
Yeah, I want to go to the games, and I want to yell at the refs. We'll talk about the refs later, this last game. But I think we have a responsibility as fans to voice our opinion during the game as well, right? So, anyways, it was a little disappointing to see how empty the South End was. It was a little disappointing, especially for the second game of the season. I would expect after we missed the playoffs and you're done and you're fed up, you don't want to go in any more games. Fine, that's your prerogative. But I don't know. I think we can do better, and as fans, I think we can be better, because I truly believe they need our voice. That's why TFC Uncensored. That's why we have that, to be a voice. And to hear your voice as well. And just to kind of skip ahead, if you ever have any questions, DM us and we'll answer your questions.
Yeah, right here on video. We've got a question coming up later, but give us your questions. We'll answer them honestly and as brutal as fans may be. And yeah, just back on that culture, I noticed by the end of the game, the last 15 minutes, that was really the only exciting part of the game, in my opinion. Some of the only exciting moments happened in the last 15 minutes. And it was only really the southeast end, there was like a little club of people like just around this small area that were there. Everyone else had left. You know, they got to catch their train or whatever. But that's the atmosphere that we need every game. We need fans. But like BMO Field's looking less and less of the fortress it used to be. Back in the day, it used to be like our win percentage at home was huge. Like in MLS, we have the greatest gap between home win percentage and away win percentage. So when we play at home, there's an expectation to win every single game. And I think after this Vancouver game, we're starting to get back into that rhythm, and hopefully we need to start winning these games at home, especially, and for the fans as well. Bring in those fans, and everyone helps everyone.
So I understand, you know, we tied at home against one of the best teams in the MLS right now. And it's too early for me to shit on the team because I am not happy with ties. I want wins, right? This team, this fans, the fan base, we need wins and we want trophies. And as much as, you know, we could be proud of that tie against, you know, I mean, we're in a slump and we tied, you know, the number one team right now. A tie doesn't do anything for us. Yeah. We should be, I don't care who you are, you're in our fortress, we are beating you. That's why we need as many fans in the stands as possible.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to tell you by the end of last season that 6 games in, we'd be without a loss, and on our second home game, our lineup was Johnson, Petretta, Rosted, Gomes, Wingo, Coelho, Osorio, Insigne, Kerr, Bernadeschi, and Etienne, all returning players from last season, you wouldn't believe me, right? After 6 games, you're without a win, and that's why I understand under the circumstances. We had injuries, stuff like that. It's just kind of funny how that ended up turning out. And like you tell me that, like, what has the club done? Like, the club had to do things, and they really didn't.
Well, I think we can all agree that Robin Fraser has put, you know, he put his best starting 11 out there, and he's rewarding the players that are showing some effort, right? I mean, this past game, he started Kerr and Etienne because of their brilliance that they did coming off the bench last game.
Yeah, against New York. Yeah, I mean, he plays the right lineup every game. I can't knock him on that. I feel like he really nails the team every time. Again, Etienne's the right guy to put in there, although, you know, Spicer just came off the international break. Etienne had a lot of fire in him against New York. You want to see that again. Kerr, same thing, scoring a goal. But after that game, they really proved it. I would say Etienne proved that Spicer's a starter. Spicer's proved that he's earned his spot. Etienne's not quite there. Kerr, no, ineffective. When Ula came on, he really showed a difference. And Wingo, I would say those 3 guys. I know Kerr and Wingo got injured, but I don't think they should be starting anymore.
Well, I think so. Robin Fraser, he's putting the players in their best position. So I mean, I don't think Fraser could have done anything better with what he had. The last couple of games, his starting 11. No, I get it. You know, he's trying out different players, getting a feel for them. But there's no surprise that Corbiano is not getting any playing time right now. And, you know, a player like Kerr started again because of, obviously, you know, he showed that brilliance. So I think he put his best starting 11 out there, and that starting 11 included Insigne. Okay? Robin Fraser, you know, we're going to call bullshit again. There is no Insigne doesn't fit our system. Okay? He is one of your best offensive talents that you can have on that team with the roster that you have. So when you look at your roster sheet, there's no way in hell he doesn't fit your system. Is he a defensive liability? Possibly. Is he going to track back, you know, when we're down 1-0? Maybe not, right? But he's an offensive player. He always has been that player. And it's not his fault that, you know, he's put into a system that he's expected to do more, because when he does more under Herdman, that's when those injuries happen. But what happened to this frail aging multi-million-dollar DP that can't score goals, that always gets injured? Wow, he just 98 minutes last game, and the game prior to that, what was that?
He's played 2 full games.
Yeah, like 96 minutes or 95 or whatever it was in extra time. So he can do it. He's playing, but Fraser's acknowledging he's playing Insigne in his best possible role.
And I can't stand this rhetoric that, why are we playing Insigne? Like, regardless of the money you're paying for him, if he's a DP or not, he's still better than somebody like Longstaff or Simmermansic, and he should always be starting over those players, regardless of his status. But playing him doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing the team worse. It's the fact that you're keeping him around and not getting a better player in there. Like, Insigne looks too much of a mediocre MLS player to look like an impactful DP that earns $15 million a year. If you want to see a change in that respect, it should be a change of personnel with a new player, not calling in a rebuild and putting in a young guy for Insigne just so we lose every game. That's not how soccer works, and that doesn't make any sense. It's about big money moves, and that's what we're waiting on.
As fans, should we be better? Like, should we be better as fans, right? As supporters, as fans, should we be better? So everyone can agree, Insigne's not putting up the numbers. He's frustrated too, okay? He's frustrated, management's frustrated, fans are frustrated. We get that. However, he's under contract, and unless MLSE buys him out, right? Unless they buy him out, we are, for lack of better terms, we're stuck with him. So as long as he's on this roster, I'm going to be behind him 100%. And instead of me trying to force management on getting rid of Insigne, right? I've been saying this from day one. I've been trying to force management to give him a supporting cast. You put Lorenzo Insigne, demote him to TFC 2. He's going to do even worse, right? Because he's surrounded by, that skill level. Well, that's what he has been surrounded by. Obviously plagued with some injuries, and and then the poor coaching. But, come on. Maybe now he's got, right, with Ulla Brynhilsen, he's going to be there. And maybe we get this Maxime Dominguez. Right?
Yeah, maybe we'll see some good connection plays. And, you can't tell me that playing Insigne is the downfall of the team. Like you said, you put him with TFC 2, he's going to look worse. Mm-hmm. Like, he needs those support systems. You need to surround him with good players. But should you really have to put specific players in situations for your designated player that's making all that money? I don't think so. It's a horrible business decision. But that's just because Bill Manning thought he was getting a second Giovenco. When he paid for a 5'4" Italian forward, he thought he was going to get the next Giovenco. But unfortunately, sorry fans, but there will never be another Giovenco. And it comes to show that Insigne is not Giovenco, will never be that type of player. And it was a poor business decision, and it shows on the field. Like, look, Insigne is like, he looks at a place, he doesn't look like he knows what to do as much as a guy like Giovenco, who really just scored all those goals, got those assists, and really owned MLS.
Well, to that point, and so Giovenco, he was a god amongst men, right? So the best player that Major League Soccer has ever seen, right? And if we're trying to compare our DPs to Giovenco, I'm sorry, we're never going to do that. We're never going to see the caliber. However, even though Giovenco was able to do so much on his own, do we forget what an amazing supporting cast he had? Yeah. Michael Bradley in his prime, Josie Altidore in his prime. We had Vasquez who was able to move the ball, and his soccer IQ was brilliant. You had Beitashour and Moro as your wing backs. You had Drew Moore on defense. We had an amazing supporting cast. But as soon as we took Giovenco out of the equation, right? And Giovenco, it was Altidore's supporting cast, right? And as soon as we removed Giovenco from Altidore
was horrible.
Yeah, he was not the player that he was, right? And if maybe we were to start off with the players that Manning promised Insigne and Bernardeschi, this was a project. It was, I'm going to surround you with amazing players, and they stopped there. They signed Berna and Insigne, and they stopped there and they didn't put anybody else on that pitch besides a bunch of TFC2 players. And of course he's going to be frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, if you're going to, let's say, for example, Altidore had all those great seasons with Toronto FC. Let's say another team in the MLS says, I want Altidore. Let's say like New England ended up buying him. And you get Altidore and you expect him to produce the same amount of numbers that he had with Toronto FC in their prime. It's just not how it works. You need to surround him with the right players and actually create a team. You're not creating players, you're creating a team, right? TFC's focusing on the players and getting a bunch of random players and throwing them together, and clearly they're frustrated. The biggest issue I've seen with TFC in the recent games is their team chemistry. They don't know where to be. They're all yelling at each other equally as much, and it's just sad to watch, because you're like, these guys have had all this time to play together and they still don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. The team chemistry is the biggest issue.
Yeah, I mean, just spending money, just because you drop millions of dollars on a player, it's not going to win you championships. We need chemistry, and we need to build. And I mean, to go back to our glory years, right? We spent all our money in the middle. Seba, Josie, Bradley, all our money right down the spine. Where do we spend our money? On the East Coast and the West Coast, right? Nothing connecting them in the middle, right? And we're overworking Osorio there. Right. I mean, Osorio, he can't, especially with the formations and the system, he hasn't been able to link up with any of these players. So the team needs a lot of work. They need some supporting cast. So hopefully we got a number 9 with Ula, right? Hopefully we're going to see him start producing. And if we can get this new Dominguez guy in the middle, maybe linking up with Berna and Insigne, we might start seeing some results.
We can only hope, but what we can do is notice some players that actually had really good games against Vancouver. Let's start from the back. Let's start Sean Johnson. I would say our most valuable player of the 2024 season, hands down. He earned his first clean sheet of the season by getting not conceding a single goal against Vancouver and making some really good saves and earning us a point on the day.
Yeah, Johnson, I mean, right now, he's my MVP. You don't have Johnson in that game, I don't think I think we lose that game against Vancouver without Johnson in net. He's made some significant saves. He's a leader out there. I have nothing. Honestly, I'm surprised he's not walking in the management's office asking for a raise. I mean, this guy, he's been nothing but a gentleman and a leader, and what an amazing player. A player like Johnson, he is stealing points for us. He steals points. And he's going, because of him, last season we won some games because of him, because some games should have ended up either in a tie or a loss. But if it wasn't for Johnson shutting the door, we probably, would have tied or lost that game. But, I mean, against Vancouver, if it wasn't for him, that would have been a loss.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at a guy who's, 35, 36 years old. He's a washed-up MLS veteran, but you look at him, he's a stone wall, he's a leader, everybody respects him, and he gets us all these points. So I think really people need to start putting a lot more respect on Johnson within TFC and outside of TFC. He is an MLS Cup worthy player. If there was anyone on this team that I would say is worthy of winning an MLS Cup, I would say, within the squad we have, I'd say Johnson is a player to keep. Yeah. Whereas he did win it in the COVID year with New York. Yeah. But yeah, so.
And then moving up from there, starting at the right back, Wingo. And you actually said it. You actually said it during the game that it's quite possible, and we're just speculating. There's no news reports out just yet, but I think that might be the last of that we'll see Wingo.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed this last season. I mean, he came in, looked like a decent player, quick, good offensively. He's a right back, fast, good touches, good getting up the pitch. But I noticed there was a specific game last season where he was subbed in. He was subbed in because he was questionable of an injury, and then 5 minutes later he was subbed right back out. And what happened this game? He's been questionable. He's been injured a lot this season, and again he went down on the field. So he's not producing. He's not a player that you can really count on and really force in to get those results. He looked like he was covering his face. He looked upset when he was coming off injured. I think he might have to get a big surgery or just or call it quits, because he's a liability on the field, because he can't play at 100%, and he's not reliable. He's just going to come off injured all the time. It's really sad to see. But.
Yeah, he called himself off. I mean, he knew, like, he was, it was right, actually, like, he went into, like, he didn't hurt himself going into that slide tackle.
No,
because he sprung up and he did the sign. He's like, I'm done. I got to get out of here. But yeah, moving right along. I want to jump right into Gomis. Wow, this player. I mean, he's playing flawless right now, and he was doing something. If you remember the Greg Vanderweel?
Vanderweel,
yeah,
yes.
Vanderweel. When Vanderweel was playing center back, what I love about center backs is when you attack the passing lane, right? You see that lane and you move into it and you attack that lane before the ball leaves your feet. And look at Gomis when he plays, okay? He sees that passing lane. He doesn't just move the ball. He moves his body, then the ball. He advances the ball with his feet, then moves it forward, right? I have not seen Rostad do that. I mean, what are your thoughts on Gomis?
I think besides Johnson, I know I'm going to say it again, I think he's the second best player that's been playing in the season so far. I think he's really proven himself. He's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of strength. Great passing, great defensively, and great like on the ball dribbling. Like he's able to break the line. Kind of reminds me a bit of Carlos Salcedo, if you remember him. Like he's able to break the line and make that first pass, eliminating that mediator in the middle, like the old Michael Bradley. And yeah, I think he's a special prospect, and I think he earned his starting role in my opinion, and he's only going to get better from here as a young player.
Ross, what's it?
I'm going to cut it there just to see if that recorded.